Hello there, you're watching Breaking News on NDTV. I'm Maha Siddiqui. Me Too has once again hit the sports world, and once again it appears like an arduous task that the wrestlers are undertaking. Because while our medal winners, ones who have brought glory to the country at Olympics, Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, are sitting out in the bitter cold in Delhi, seeking justice and change in the Wrestling Federation of India. So far, the only response from the Sports Ministry has been seeking a response from the WFI. The allegations of sexual harassment and threats when trying to speak up against none other than the Wrestling Federation of India President and BJP MP Brij Bhushan Singh himself, who has denied the charges, though on the other side. Not too long ago in December, the Haryana Sports Minister Sandeep Singh was accused of sexual harassment by a female coach, but he has not yet stepped down as minister, only giving up his sports portfolio. Now, a Mahapanchayat of Khaps has decided to pressure the government to remove him. Will the wrestlers get similar support? And is this support going to be enough? As allegations of Me Too surface, we ask if women in sports remain vulnerable. But before I go across to my guests, let's quickly listen in to what Sports Minister अनुराग ठाकुर has just said.
मैं तो यही कहूँगा, खिलाड़ियों ने जो आरोप लगाए वो गंभीर किस्म के हैं और उसका संज्ञान लेते हुए भारत सरकार ने, खेल मंत्रालय ने तुरंत कार्रवाई करते हुए रेसलिंग फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया को नोटिस भी दिया, 72 घंटे के अंदर जवाब भी मांगा है और इसके अलावा जो कैंप लगना था उसको भी पोस्टपोन कर दिया गया है प्रभावी रूप से। और हम सदा खिलाड़ियों से पहले भी मिलते रहे और आज भी मेरा प्रयास है कि मैं वापस आकर खिलाड़ियों से मिलूंगा ताकि उनकी बात को सुन भी सकें और जो उचित कार्रवाई होगी वो भी करेंगे।
Let me now introduce our guest, Sharda Ugra, senior cricket journalist, Dr. Sunita Godara, Asian marathon champion from 1992, marathon and fitness coach, Shagun Chaudhary, first woman to represent India at the Olympics, Olympian, Asian Games medalist, Asian shotgun medalist, National Games champion. Will also be joined shortly by Rahul Mehra. He is a sports activist and a lawyer. I want to first go across to Sharda Ugra first. Sharda, you know, you've covered a wide range of sports. What have you seen when women in sports raise issues of this nature that we are seeing now being done by the wrestlers of sexual harassment? What is the first response of the federations?
The first response of the federation to any accusation of misgovernance is denial, and then they turn the blame onto the athlete themselves. You are always hearing of athletes having to thank federations after they win medals. It's almost like that has been forced on to say that. Because I think our federations are very badly functioning organizations. They are not professional. And as we are seeing in the case of wrestling, Maha, that Brij Bhushan Singh has been known to be a bit of what, like a dabang kind of a personality. And he exercises this kind of almost like a fiefdom. It's like his private fiefdom. He runs it like that. He's been in office now for about 12 years. He should now literally not qualify to be on a president anymore, but that's not going to happen. And whatever the government is doing, their response to the government because the athletes approach them, I think it's important to point out that the Indian Olympic Association, which is the parent body of all Olympic sport in India, has been completely silent. It has a new head, PT Usha. It has a new Olympic Athletes Commission that has been set up. They are completely silent. And the point is that that Athletes Commission was set up almost in a way that was a unanimous election. And I think the government had a lot to do with putting in these people there and making everything look happy, because the actual purpose of governance in these governing bodies doesn't exist. So the ministry stepping in and saying that it's going to do, it's going to have an investigation. It's a good response. But what are you going to do about the structures that are in place that are not fit to look after Indian
Let me go across to Dr. Sunita Godara. Dr. Sunita, many people are pointing out that the immediate response from the Sports Ministry should have been to suspend the present executive, the members on the WFI, and have an interim body in place till such time as an investigation is underway. Do you think that has been flouted because they've been given time to respond to these serious allegations, even when we are seeing the wrestlers sitting out in the bitter cold in Delhi?
See, first of all, there should have been, suo motu action to just curb the federation, just ban the federation. And first of all, I want to say I am 100%, with Sharda Ugra. Whatever she's saying, very correct. Federations are treating athletes like slaves. They are, treating them like guinea pigs. And whereas the athletes should be in center stage, for the ministry, for IOA, and IOA chief being female, not spoken a word, she has not uttered a word. Secondly, just now Sharda said the athlete commission. I don't know, where is that? They have never come out with any support for the athletes. And secondly, where are the sexual harassment committees, which is a rule that all organizations have to have sexual harassment committee. This time, those committees should have come forward and taken some action.
Absolutely. And these are guidelines that every organization is expected to follow. It's not an isolated case that we're talking about here, where only the sports bodies are meant to have it, because there have been cases of Me Too that have come to light. Shagun Chaudhary, are you disappointed that the basic structure to protect women are not in place? After all, for sportswomen, this is their workplace, and there has to be a structure where they can seek redressal.
It's unfortunate that they have actually had to, go out and protest or whatever, because I've been a shooter for the last 21 years now. And we have an athletes commission which is in place in the National Rifle Association of India, which actually gets all grievances and all that. When I started shooting, there weren't any women athletes as such who were actually shooting. So that was a different scenario altogether. But now they have actually addressed that and we have women coaches, we have women high performance directors and all of that who we can actually go and talk to. So what I feel is, like, every federation for that matter should have for women, because for women it's very, very different, right? Because first of all, women in sports they're hard to find. And secondly, if you do get into sports, then you have to go through so many hurdles. So you need to have a committee that is basically somebody whom you can go and talk to if you're having these issues. So it is unfortunate that the wrestling federation probably did not have that. But but honestly speaking, I feel blessed because the National Rifle Association of India does have that, where we can actually go, and if there is an issue, we can actually go and address it now. I'm not talking about like 15, 20 years later, earlier, but now, yes, we can.
So Sharda Ugra, why are there different rules for different federations?
No, they are just federations that can get away with something, and which is what they're doing. I mean, what Shagun is saying about the National Rifle Association is great, but I don't think that the Wrestling Association of India even has an athletes commission to start with. Never mind a committee that looks after, sexual harassment in the workplace issues. I don't know how many women feature in their executive committees and so on. So this is a very large, and wrestling has traditionally been a male sport in India. And that whole culture it's got of, coach ke pair chuo and coaches Bhagwan and coaches Dronacharya, that exists. And the president, there are videos that were shown of Brij Bhushan Singh slapping an athlete on the stage. So you've heard those stories. Athletes are doing trials. They are stopped in the middle of their warm-ups because he's brought some people to come and give them some blessings or some nonsense that has happened. So these kind of things have been allowed. These reports have come, and it's not like the sports ministry or the Indian Olympic Association, whose job it is to ask the question and say, what are you doing this? What is, and the Abhinav Bindra, who's on the Athletes Commission of the International Olympic Committee, responded to this and said that you have to take this matter up seriously and quickly. And all you're hearing is Brij Bhushan Singh saying, "Arey, hang me if somebody says that I have done this and all." What is this hang me? You know, the thing is it's literally that you are turning the blame, you're putting the blame on people who are fundamentally young women. And they are the victims, and you're turning around and trying to blame it on them. And you know, I mean, Vinesh and Bajrang said that they had been threatened by people who are on the Federation president's on his team, so to speak, on his side. So what kind of an environment is this?
Absolutely.
You know,
and one point
and
that
it is allowed.
one point, Sharda, that I want to take forward with Dr. Sunita is the point that you raised here about these women being very young, and that's the really, if you know, if one puts it crudely, the shelf life of a sports person.
Yeah.
You have to be really young to perform well. And when you're young, you're even a little more vulnerable than you would otherwise when you have more experience of the world. Under these circumstances, Dr. Sunita, you know, is there a fear then that parents would prevent women from entering sports if this kind of an atmosphere exists and is exposed and nothing is done about it?
See, now it has come in public so very badly, you know, like the whole world is now seeing this, and now this is a problem. Parents will not like to send their girls, you know, and there are two types of harassment in federations, not only this federation, other federations also. One is mental torture, and mental torture is given to the athletes who speak out, who are little,
Outspoken.
fearless.
Fearless.
So if they speak out, they raise the questions, they raise the issues, then they are mentally tortured, like Vinesh, Shakshi and Bajrang. And there are few athletes who really want to go up to Olympics. They are in the national camps, they are from the very humble background, so they don't have money with them so that they can train abroad or they can train at home. So they need sports ministry or Sports Authority of India's help, financial help to be in the camp. Once they are in the camp, and if they are young, they are exploited sexually, not all, but few, and they can't speak. Now people are saying, how many years, you know, they didn't speak and now suddenly this has come out. Yes, when the girls are sexually harassed, they don't come out just like that, you know. They look for a person who can support them. They look for some females who can support them. And once they got Vinesh and Sakshi to support, then only they came out and they must have told them.
Unfortunately, Dr. Sunita, that's a question that's often put to women when they come out with allegations of sexual harassment. Why didn't you speak up earlier? Now, talking about cleaning up of sports, Rahul Mehra is with us now. Rahul Mehra, you've fought a battle, a legal battle as well for cleaning up sports bodies. But here, another type of cleanup is required because we are seeing exploitation here that is now very evident. Are you at all shocked in the manner in which the WFI has been dealing with such cases? I mean, I understand that the president himself is now under the scanner. There are allegations against him as well. But the fact that they did not even have a proper committee to address issues of this nature, does it come as a surprise to you, or you are not surprised looking at your experience of the federations?
I think none of the experts on your show would be either surprised or, in any way shocked about it. We all feel and we all believe that we've seen the lowest of the low. But then there's one great man who just walks out and proves all of us wrong. In this case, it's Brij Bhushan. I don't even want to characterize him into by honoring him by saying one gentleman or Mr. Brij Bhushan. But unfortunately, we have many of such kind of people. It's across sports. It's not only wrestling, which is infested with this rotten kind of administrative structure. And the root cause of all of this is that you have dirty politicians coming with dirty practices, political practices, and it's cutting across party lines. It's nothing to do with BJP alone. Earlier it was Congress, it's BSP, SP, you name it, and they all are there. They're milking Indian sports by telling us that they have love for the sports. So therefore, the root cause of this problem is bad management practices brought in by people who can only can't see beyond their own nose. They have deep-rooted vested interest. They are deeply conflicted in their operation on a day-to-day basis, and therefore you have this mess. And to top this, if you have a person who's a member of parliament of any political party, in this case the BJP, the ruling party, and if you have a person where there is opaqueness, there is no transparency, who feels that he has the bosses at the top in the ministry and other places, and he can get away with whatever he does. In this case, serious sexual harassment, which I won't say borders criminality, but I hope somebody lodges a police complaint and this man is arrested. Obviously, they have to file complaints. They have to make their allegations good. They have to say, bring on record what they are saying, that they have the proof. And I would actually say three things, to reach out to your audience. Number one, this facade by the sports ministry that, we have to give them a show cause and there is a 72 hours period that we want to listen to. Let me tell you, there are two clauses in the sports code. Please ask your, our sports minister, Mr. Thakur, who claims to be, championing the cause of all sports persons and sports in India. Kindly, if he doesn't have the sports code, probably, one of us can send him. But if he does, open page 86, 87 and 85, 85 to 87, it's a letter from the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. It's a directive dated back 12 years back. And it is of 16th of August, 2010, which says that every national sports federation within 15 days, that is within 15 days takes it to 31st of August, 2010, must have rules and regulations pertaining to in writing, notified and publicized on prevention of sexual harassment within their own workspace, which is their own national sports federations and their own sporting arenas. Now, one of the clauses for recognition, which is an annual recognition, which is provided by none other than the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, and Minister of Sports is the final authority on that, says that you can be de-recognized if you don't have it.
Okay.
So I'm only saying suspend them till the time they are able to prove.
That's exactly what Dr. Sunita Godara also said. Rahul,
just allow me one more.
I'll come back to you because we are just splitting up issues into smaller bits so that the viewers are better able to understand this entire matter. Shagun Chaudhary, you think this should be ideally the first step, that the federation should be de-recognized?
De-recognized, first of all, to be honest, I think the cause of what they're protesting for has to be de-recognized if there is some valid proof. See, I'm a girl. I've been shooting for the last 20 years, like I said. In a male-dominated sport, we all have gone through our bit of hurdles, and it's not been pretty. But like I said, now, if the federation takes up the issue and puts up a committee where the athletes are heard, and then comes to a conclusion, because you can't, unless and until it's not, unfortunately it's like that, but if it's not proven, then nobody's nobody's held guilty. So on both sides, they should have a proper hearing where their case should be heard. What happens is when you don't have committees like what NRAI has an athletes committee, commission committee, where we go and we talk about our issues if we have an issue. So we have a pure say in what we are feeling, and then they can actually identify that and talk about it. Now, the first case is not de-recognizing the federation, but it's actually putting a committee in place which actually hears the athletes and their grievances, and then actually does justice in terms of hearing both the parties out and then coming to a conclusion. It is I'm saying, it is very, very difficult, and it takes a lot of courage for a girl to come out and point a finger at the federation.
All right.
And
yes, Shagun, I get your point that for it to look fair and for both sides to be heard is important. But Dr. Sunita doesn't seem to agree with that view.
Because see, now here when they are violating the rules, and the government has already given the rule that if you don't have sexual harassment committee, then you will be de-recognized. So where is their sexual harassment committee? Even IOA, there is no sexual harassment committee because nobody has come out.
On that technical point itself,
they should be de-recognized because they are not following the directives of
ministry. If they don't have a committee, then
Actually,
Rahul
there's
Mehra,
one more issue.
If there's no
one
committee,
more.
then what are you going to go and?
Absolutely.
I'm
Where
sorry.
are you going
I'm
to
sorry.
complain? Where is the redressal
so
mechanism
first
in place?
de-recognize and then
Exactly.
sports
Rahul
ministry should intervene.
You know, there are two problems with what Shagun is mentioning. I have deepest of regards for all sports persons, and so is Shagun in that category. But I have to just say, put my point across. See, in ordinary circumstances, what Shagun is saying is absolutely
Yes.
right. Don't shun somebody. Don't label somebody out here a complete organization. But if you are chronic defaulters for 12 and a half years. You have not had a sexual harassment committee, internal committee.
Correct.
And frankly, an internal complaints committee in this case is meaningless. Why? Because the puppeteer in whose hand the puppet is the guy who's the accused, alleged accused. How can you have an internal complaint committee of Wrestling Federation of India appointed by unanimously
So I feel that's
elected
where the sports
president of
ministry comes
Wrestling
into-
Federation of India, and that guy selects the committee, puts his own people on that committee and asks them to exonerate or to do whatever for him. I mean, it's a complete sham to begin with.
But then that
So
should
therefore-
come under the sports ministry, right?
No,
all the
I'm sorry,
committees and
these are-
everything that
they-
are-
no,
there has to
Shagun,
be-
No.
No.
Actually,
Nothing.
committees are made one person from outside and female, and one person from inside, and one person who is a legal person. So that way the committee is made, everywhere. I am also sexual harassment committee board member in police department. So I am from the outside as an NGO head. I am with them. So where is their committee?
All
Where
right.
is IOA
so
committee?
that is
And-
one point on which action can be taken against WFI.
And another point
I have
which you
only
can
the
allow
last
me.
30 seconds left, Rahul Mehra.
So another point is, which has recently come in my judgment on 16th of August 2022 by the Delhi High Court, now is before the Supreme Court, and there is no stay on that. Minimum 25% sports persons have to be there of outstanding merit in both the executive committee and the General Assembly. Please ask this Brij Bhushan, whosoever this person is, as the president, where are those 25% outstanding merit professionals? Who are the wrestlers? At least have 25% in a sporting body. We are not even claiming have 75%. You can have all the riffraffs, all the people who are interested in nothing to do with sports, but at least have those 25% who wear their
All right, we'll leave it.
who wear their heart
Okay.
and who give their blood, sweat and toil for the country.
Absolutely.
We'll
we'll leave it at that, Rahul Mehra. We'll have to leave it at that, Rahul Mehra. I understand the
by a
sentiments
sports
here.
person than by a politician.
I
I'd rather
understand the
be damned by
sentiments
a
here
sports person than a
completely.
politician.
There is a cleanup required in sports, and especially with regards to women. If we want to encourage more women to take up sport, then you need to have an environment that is conducive for them. Many thanks to all my guests for joining us here on the show. I'm now being, in fact, I spoke a short while back with Sehdev Singh. He's a senior coach, Sehdev Singh Balian. Many thanks for speaking with us. पहले तो ये बताइए आप लोगों की डिमांड क्या है?
मैम, जो हमारे बच्चे हैं ये ओलंपियन हैं, जो देश का नाम रोशन करते हैं, विदेशों में जाके तिरंगा फहराते हैं, इस टाइम सर्दी के अंदर ये एजिटेशन कर रहे हैं, बहुत ही बुरा लग रहा है मुझे। और मैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से, माननीय गृह मंत्री जी से निवेदन करता हूं कि WFI को भंग किया जाए और इनके खिलाफ CBI की जांच करवाई जाए। दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी छन जाएगा और जो हमारे पहलवान हैं ये भी धरने पे हट जाएंगे और अपनी प्रैक्टिस में लग जाएंगे।
सैदेव सिंह जी, बहुत सारे लोग ये भी कहते हैं अक्सर ऐसे केसेस में कि क्या कंप्लेंट की थी इन एथलीट्स ने पहले, इन प्लेयर्स ने, रेसलर्स ने पहले कंप्लेंट की थी?
ये शिकायत तो पहले से भी आ रही थी, लेकिन हिम्मत नहीं हो रही थी बच्चों की। अब जो बड़े जो बच्चे हैं हमारे, जैसे बजरंग पूनिया है, विनेश फोगाट है, रवि दहिया है, तो इन्होंने आवाज़ उठाई है बच्चों के। जो छोटे बच्चे हैं, जो आने वाली जो हमारी प्योदे हैं, जो देश का नाम रोशन करेंगे, उनके लिए इन्होंने ये आवाज़ें उठाई हैं ताकि न्याय हो सके इनके साथ और एक अच्छी व्यवस्था किसी अच्छे अध्यक्ष के हाथ में आए और हमारी जो कुश्ती है और आगे बढ़े। मेरे को तो ऐसा लगता है अगर हमारे प्रेसिडेंट अच्छे हों कुश्ती फेडरेशन के, तो सारे वजनों में हमारे ओलंपिक में मेडल आ सकते हैं, क्योंकि हमारे बच्चे मेहनती बहुत हैं। हमारी बेटियां भी मेहनती, हमारे बेटे ही मेहनती हैं। ये एक फोकस रखेंगे अपने मेडल पर और किसी चीज़ पर फोकस रखने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं। अगर WFI में सुव्यवस्थित तरीके से सारे काम चलें तो। और मेरी एक और रिक्वेस्ट है रतन टाटा जी से, उनके चरणों में मैं पहले तो नमन करता हूं, जो हमारे पहलवानों को इतनी सहायता करते हैं, वो उसकी वजह से मेडल आते हैं। मेरी निवेदन है, अगर मेरे आवाज़ सुन रहे रतन टाटा जी, मैं उनसे हाथ जोड़ के विनती करता हूं, जो भी वो फंड रिलीज करते हैं अपनी कंपनी से, वो सीधे खिलाड़ियों को भेजें।
Sadev Singh Balyan there speaking with NDTV. Many thanks. With that, we're taking a very quick break. News and updates will continue. Stay with us.